today the topic is Lyyti roadmap. And what we will go through is, first of all, a short, maybe you have seen this before, but still a short presentation of who develops Lyyti, who and what kind of people are behind everything that is done in Lyyti, and what comes as new features and so on. So what kind of team is there behind that? Then we will look a bit at the feedback that we get, so you get an understanding of how you can give feedback to us, and also how we then take that feedback in and do some actions on that feedback. Then we will, of course, look at the roadmap, and then also I'm going to present to you two bigger new features from Lyyti that are upcoming now in early 2026. So if you haven't seen those yet, you will see now a sneak peek of what is coming up next year. But if we start with a short presentation or recap on who develops Lyyti. So in Lyyti we have this big development team, but that team is then also divided in different teams depending a bit on who develops what and who then takes care of what. But as you can see, we have a lot of people in this big whole team, and everyone has their designated tasks and designated development features that they then take care of. And of course, everything is also then at the higher level managed by a product management team, where our CEO and also our product manager is the responsible people for. And now, as I actually mentioned the CEO, you actually got the messages that Petri, our CEO, was the one who is going to have this webinar today, but unfortunately he is now not available, so therefore I am here. But he's still also, of course, the one who always is also at the top of the product management and takes care that everything that we want to develop is also developed. But then, of course, we have these different teams. We have, for example, the technology team at Lyyti. Then we have a people's coach who also then takes care of all the people in the development team so that they are doing well and can develop the best they can. And then we have these different development smaller teams where we have the development team that develops everything that you see in Lyyti. That means everything that is behind every feature. Those are the ones who do that. Then we have a separate mobile development team who focuses on the mobile part. That means both the app where you can scan QR codes, but also a new mobile app that I will show you and give you some more information about really soon, because we have a new mobile app for participants coming up next year. Then we have operations team who sees that everything is always functioning, and also, of course, designers who then take care of what Lyyti looks like, so it looks nice, and also that everything is always working on the design part, so that your events look good. Then, if we have a look at the feedback that we receive at Lyyti, as you may know, and many of you maybe also do quite a lot of events, we have a lot of events done on the Lyyti platform every year. We have around 90,000 events per year done with Lyyti, so that's quite a lot, and almost 26 million participants a year in these events. So it's a really big mass of both events and then also, of course, participants in these events. And all these events and all the participants are, of course, then done by our customers. And we have 1,300 and a bit more customers at the moment in Lyyti, both, of course, in Finland and Sweden and in France, but then also globally around the world. So quite a lot of customers there. And 5,000 users use Lyyti per month. So there is a lot of traffic also, of course, then in the product. And all of these, of course, then events and also the users who do the events give, of course, the feedback to us. And every day we get a lot of feedback to Lyyti, both of features we already have and how to improve them, but also, of course, of new features and what they wish that we could add to Lyyti. So around 850 feedback requests we get both for new and existing features per year. So that is around 4 per day or per working day. So quite a lot of feedback. And also, of course, then our product manager is responsible to go through this feedback, and she does it every week. So every feedback that you give in is always taken care of, and then we decide on, depending a bit on how much feedback we have gotten and what kind of feedback, we decide on what road to go next. And most of you are probably aware of these channels, but I thought that I would go through those once again so that you know where you can give this feedback to us. First of all, we have a page in Lyyti, which is a roadmap page where you can first of all see what kind of new features we have and also what kind of new features are upcoming in the upcoming months. So on this roadmap page, you can both have a look at that, but also give us feedback then on what kind of features you would wish for or what would you wish to work better in Lyyti. Of course, our amazing support is always also there for you every day, every working day, and through email, chat, and phone calls, you are always available to give the feedback as well. So if you have something, you are talking with a support person and you get some idea that this would be really good, you can always tell that to the support and they will then forward it to the product team. And of course, if you have any kind of meeting with the Lyyti team or anyone from Lyyti, you can always share your feedback with us through the meeting, or if you see us at some fair or anywhere you meet a Lytian, you can always give feedback. So that was how you can give feedback, and also then if you have anything that you would wish for or something that you would like to be on the roadmap maybe in the future, you can always then give us that feedback. Before we jump to the roadmap, I will present you a few news here in Lyyti. Most of you are probably familiar with the event sites that we have in Lyyti. That is meaning the event site or landing page or information page, whatever you would like to call it and use it for, where you can add more information about the event on top of the registration page and on top of all the communication you are going to do with Lyyti. So the event sites are the landing page where you can add information, agendas, speaker information, you can add different calendar marks, etc. there. And what are new features on the event site that has been now released in the 3 months maybe past are, for example, that you are now available to do event sites with different participant types. So if you're using participant types in your event, you can also show different event sites with different kind of information for these different types of participants. So if you have, let's say, VIP guests and you have normal guests, you can have 2 different sites for those and only show the information that is you want for the VIPs and then what you want for the normal participants. Then also in the event sites, you have the possibility to add different calendar marks for different sessions. So if you have a day with a lot of different sessions, you can now go and add separate calendar marks for all of these sessions. Because as you may know, in Lyyti, if you're doing an event that is, let's say, from 9 in the morning until 5 in the evening, and you have a different sessions in that, in Lyyti, how it has worked before is that you get a calendar mark that is for the whole time of the event. But now with the event sites, you can do separate for different sessions and different happenings on that day, and then the participants can just download that correct session in their calendar so that they don't have to have the whole day in the calendar if they are not participating in the whole day. And then the last one that we have released also in the new event sites is that you have the possibility to do different language versions there. So if you have participants from speak both English and Finnish or Swedish, you can put 2 different languages and they will see the event site then in the correct language. Then 2 other news in Lyyti that we have is that we have made some or made it easier for you to do text message reminders. So if you want to send a text message reminder before an event, you have a ready-made template that you can use for that. And then the last one that we have here is that we have made some or maybe we have made it easier to use the CSS editor in Lyyti so that you can do designs a bit easier than before with this long CSS coding. But actually, I'm going to tell you a bit more about new features coming up on that, which will make it even more easier to handle design in the future. So even though we have made it already a bit easier, it's going to be a lot easier here in the upcoming months. Then if we jump straight, or we haven't jumped straight, but now we will jump straight to the roadmap. And Lyty's roadmap is, now of course we are at the end of 2025, but as you can see, we have a year upcoming here where we have different kind of planned things and features that we would like to develop in Lyty. And if we take a look first here at the really top, what I already a bit spoke about was the event sites or event websites, that meaning the landing pages, and those are already found in Lyty. So if you haven't tried them out, you find them there in the top menu from event sites, and you can try them out and see what kind of sites you can do there. And that has been one of our major projects now 2025 and also started in 2024. But now as we are leaning towards 2026, we have two main projects coming up. And those are, first of all, an event app. And that is an event app for participants. And I'm going to show you a bit more what it looks like soon when we look through that some more. But that has been one of our biggest projects in many years that we have started to develop an app for participants where they can see their events. So that is something that we have had as a bigger main project, and will also continue as a big project now in 2026. If we have a look at the pink or the light red there below, we also have another big project which I will present to you a bit more soon, is that we are now also, as I already said, we have a bit made it easier to do CSS coding for the designs in Lyty, but we will also renew the whole how you do designs and how designs and layouts work in Lyty from now on. So that is also a major project that we have had, and will also, of course, continue in 2026. So these are the two main projects, the event app and then the design renewal. And these two I will also show you a bit more soon when we have walked through the roadmap in whole. So these are the main projects. Then, of course, we have some secondary projects. And if we have a look at that, we can actually first see here that we have a contacts base or contacts there in gray. And that means that we are planning on doing a bit of a mini CRM to Lyty so that you could have a contact base from where you could then filter different participants or people you would like to invite to your event from that contact base, so that you wouldn't need to have Excel lists and other possible CRM systems always in use. You can also have that in Lyty and then have the contact base there and easily get the participants to the events. Then if we jump one down, we have insights there in light blue, and that means that we are going to develop also reporting in Lyty, meaning that of course you get now a lot of different reports from Lyty, but we would like to also make it more visual so that you can get different graphs and different pies, for example, for your events, so that you could get some kind of dashboard where you have more visuality of what are the participants doing in your events, how do your events do, and so on. So make it more visible and more also easy to interpret how the events are doing. Then if we jump one more again, we have this other blue here. We have HubSpot integration, which means that we are planning on how to improve the HubSpot integration that we already have in Lyyti. As you may know, we have this native integration with HubSpot, but we would like to do it even more better so that more customers could use that. Then if we go down to the bottom, here at the left, we have multi-factor authentication. And that means that we are also planning and probably needing to do, or also wanting, of course, to do multi-factor authentication possible in Lyyti. That means that when you are logging into Lyyti, you, of course, set your password to Lyyti first, but then also you would need to verify or authenticate yourself with another second method before you can log into Lyyti. So these are EU regulations who also drive us towards this, and this is really good because Lyyti is all about security and safe logins. So this is a really good project as well. And then really the last one here at the bottom are custom domains for registration page. And that means, as you may know, that we already have the possibility to verify your domains for emailing. That means that you can have @lyyti.com, or of course your email domain as the sender address in Lyyti. And what we also like to do is that when a person comes in to the registration page that you have done, that registration page would be looking like it is your own registration page, meaning that the URL has your own domain. So if you, for example, now, let's say, work with Coca-Cola, you have www.coca-cola.com and then the event name instead of www.lyyti.com/event name. So what we are striving towards is, of course, that the whole path from beginning to end for the participants looks like they are on your end, on your pages, and also that the visualities, of course, are following there. So this is the roadmap for 2026. Of course, as you may see that at many or almost every development part has this research part in it as well, which means that it's not guaranteed that this will be developed, and also that we are researching in which way we will develop certain things. So this roadmap may live. It might be that it will look like this the whole year, but it also might come new things to the roadmap. But as said, we have two main projects. We have the new design and also the event app. And now let's have a quick look at both of those in a bit more deeper way so that you know what is coming up here really soon. And let's start with the design. So as most of you may know, design in Lyyti has always been done so that either if you do not know CSS coding, our designers have been doing the designs for you, meaning that everything that is in the background, the menu, the fonts, the colors of the buttons, and so on for your registration page. These all things and visualities have been done by our designers, or of course, if you have had the knowledge of doing CSS coding, you have been able to do them yourselves. But now we want to make it a lot more easier for you to do these designs, and also how you handle designs and also layouts in Lyyti. So we are now renewing the design concept. So the look and feel will be now combined into only something that is called design. So from next year on, we will not have both layouts and designs in Lyyti. Everything will be put into one, and that is called from now on then design. And the ownership then goes from user to organization, meaning that one user cannot do different layouts there because we do not have layouts anymore in Lyyti, and the organization in itself can then have different so-called design cards from which they can then choose which one will be the one I will use in the event. And then, of course, you have the possibility to add, if you would like to add what is now in layouts also called banners, you can add, of course, on top of the ready-made design cards to a specific event. And that is meaning that you don't have to do many different kinds of what are now called layouts, because you have these standard designs, the design cards. And then, of course, you can use the same design for multiple events. And if you would like to add a picture, you can add a picture, but you do not need to do layouts all the time to have this new picture to the event. And also, of course, you can do the page that will be in Lyyti is that when you have the different steps that you go through there on the left, or if you are looking at the main menu there on the top with the steps, the design will be one in that path, so that you have always the design step also to go through. And how we also want to, or we are gonna make it easier for you to do the designs, is that you do not need to know CSS coding at all anymore, because we are gonna change how you do design so that you only need to know what kind of picture you want to use or background color, and what colors you wish to have for different, let's say the menu, the buttons, the fonts, and so on. So no CSS coding needed in the future. You can do also designs with only knowing the color codes and what kind of pictures you would wish to have in your event. So this will be a lot easier in the future, and also how it is handled, so that you don't need to play with both designs and layouts, and you have a big amount of layouts there in Lyyti. You will only have the designs, and then also, of course, how the designs are handled and who can do what can be then decided by the organization. So is it only a few people who can create designs and others can use them? That is totally fine. If you want to enable the design editing for everyone in the organization, it's also fine. So it's up to you how you would like to use then the new designs. Then let's also have a look at the new Lyyti event app. As said, we have our biggest project, which is the Lyyti event app for the participants, now ongoing. And the event app will be available for all of you in Q1 next year. And this event app will be available, as said, for all without a cost for next year. So if you have any events that you see this kind of app fitting, please use that and give us feedback on the app. And what the app then, of course, is that you can decide if you want to, as the organizer, if you want to add this event to the app. That means that the participants have this app downloaded on their phone, and they can see all the events that they are gonna join, that they have maybe declined, and also the events that they have joined at some point. And in Lyyti, you can always decide, is this an event you want to show in the app or not? And you then also click it here in the same path that you have everything else, both the design and all the other steps that have been there always. You can then decide if you want to add it to the app or not. So the app will also be a natural step here in the Lyyti or creating the event. And the participants then, they download the app from App Store or other stores. They can log into the app with the email address that they have then used for registration. And then, as said, they see their upcoming past and declined events in the app. So really an app where they have everything that they are going to join, and they can follow the events there and know what is coming up. And what then, of course, you as organizers can do is that you can engage the participants and give them any kind of information through the app. So the app is for that the participant sees all the important information about the event in this one place. And you, as the organizer, can push out, for example, different push notifications. You can engage them with chats and polls. And Then, of course, each or every information that the participant is needing to see during and before the event is found in the app. So they can view their registration, they can access tickets. So the QR code will be found in the app. They can visit the event website. If you have done an event website with, for example, the agenda, they can go and see the agenda there. They can then, of course, engage in different polls and join different chat discussions. So this app is a whole for the participants so that they can follow and know what kind of events are they joining, what is happening in different events. And it is, of course, for you as well, easy to then communicate to these participants during the events with and through the app, so that you can send different push notifications instead of emails, or on top of emails and SMS, you can always do then the communication through the app. And of course, the app, maybe not for small online events, it's not suitable, but every time you have a bit more participants and you want them to have a good experience with everything in one place, the app is perfect for that. And as said, this app will come in Q1 next year, so it will be available for all of you to try out and also start using the app. And every feedback that you have then about the app or anything else is always welcomed to our table. This was the things in the roadmap that I thought that we would go through today, and also very nice that I could present both the design renewal and also the new app that is coming up next year to you.